Hi there teammates. So, with the state of play that happened yesterday, I thought it'd be sort of good to maybe go through, have a look at what we saw, and yeah, if you guys enjoy this, obviously subscribe, all that, and let me know in the comments as well what you enjoyed most. Everything I do talk about in this video will be linked in the description, so feel free to go check it out. So it started off with Crash Bandicoot 4, and it was some more gameplay, some more what seemed innocuous sort of general gameplay, but then they showed and sort of spoke a little bit more about how it's going to be so much more replayable than a standard Crash Bandicoot game. So for the completionist stuff like that, there's going to be almost these new like effects kind of mode type things where maybe you go back in and you can play. So they showed certain things like this super colourful mode where it seemed like every time he jumped this splatter of colour would hit the world, or you know, like a black and white mode. So it certainly looks interesting and I'm super excited for Crash Bandicoot 4. Moving on from that was Hitman 3 with VR support, and this looks insane. So it starts off and you're just, you know, it looks like the agent, you're just walking up completely normal, and all of a sudden it puts you in this VR view where you go into this sort of bathroom and you're choking this guy out, and that in VR, well, we need more good VR games, like more full-fledged VR games, and this really could do bits for VR gaming in general. This looks to be pretty impressive, to say the least. Third up was Braid Anniversary Edition. So, not necessarily a new game, but this is a graphical update, and it now includes this kind of full commentary, which I thought was a pretty interesting idea. So, it's something that's obviously going to be toggleable, but it looks like you're going to be able to turn on this kind of commentary mode, and as the sort of voiceover of the developer said, was if you want to know more about how we make games, stuff like that, then this is the game for you. So it looks like Braid, which is an amazing time-based platformer puzzler, amazing looking graphical update, but also, like I say, with that commentary, it could be something really good, so something worth checking out. On from there was The Pathless, which is a PS5 open world archery speedy chase down enemies kind of game. This was interesting because they said there's no mini map, which in an open world game is a bit odd, and in the gameplay it kind of shows that your map is almost like this beacon that emits from you, so the higher you are, the sort of further it stretches, and this can be used to see maybe points you haven't reached yet, stuff like that. And they went on to say that the way you sort of defeat enemies is in certain areas you have to kind of cleanse this area point, and then from there the enemies are weak enough to be able to be chased down with your bow and arrow, which seems like it doesn't look like there's going to be any weaponry. It looks like it's all archery based, but less so, as they said, sort of the aiming and precision. They want it to be really fluent, really speedy. So there's these kind of orbs everywhere, and if you hit them, you get a little speed boost, and that's really the core gameplay there. It's that fluidity of being able to maneuver around. You've got this eagle to sort of help you fly and hover and stuff like that. So it certainly looks interesting, and that's slated to be holiday of this year. On from there was Spelunky 2, which on my exact notes I've just written bigger, hopefully better, which, look, Spelunky 1 was such a good game. If you haven't played it already, highly suggest going and checking it out, but I can't imagine this isn't better in almost every way, which would be an immense thing. Graphically, it's very much Spelunky, but that's never really where the game was at its best. It's this game where you can kind of hop in to go on a run and learn and new little things here and there. And there's also now this kind of in-game hub or community kind of area where you rescue kind of survivors, and it looks really cool. So that's coming out September 15th of this year. Then there was Genshin Impact, which immediately I thought looked like Zelda. The way you sort of draw your bow, and it has this kind of, after you've drawn it, this light that pops up, and then you shoot your bow, and the enemies, and everything. It looked like Zelda, but like out of an anime series. So it looks weird. I can't really go on and explain much more because I don't frankly know. But yeah, look, it looks cool. It's coming autumn of this year, so hopefully we'll be able to see some more on that soon. The next game, and I hope I don't slate its name, but it's Aeon or Eon. It's spelled Aon. So Aeon, I guess. But Aeon Must Die, and it looks like a really stylish fighting game. It's got kind of that Mortal Kombat in terms of the fighting style look, but with like this crazy... how do I explain? With like this crazy kind of crayon looking to outline to everything, but it's very much loads of reds, loads of blacks, and it looks like you're going to be fighting maybe demons, monsters, stuff like that. It looks crazy. Again, we will need more information before I can say if it's maybe a bit more anticipated or not, but yeah, it looks good overall. Now this game, I know I'm going to slate the name. It's Anno Mutation EM. Anno Mutationum. I'm not sure. And this, to say the least, I'm not really sure what it is. The gameplay, or the trailer I should say, is like this woman, she's walking across the road, and then there's a bit of fighting. I can't explain it much more. It looks interesting, but it's not blowing my socks off. But look, it's going to be someone's cup of tea, so there's that. That's meant to be coming December of this year as well, so maybe a launch game, possibly. Who knows? After that was Bugsnax, which is a PS5 game. And there's a lot of people on Twitter pointing out it's got a very much sort of Firewatch vibe. You're like this bug detective guy. Is it going to be a walking simulator type thing? I don't know. Are you going to be collecting things and slowly uncovering a story? I mean, that's the vibe I got. Certainly an odd looking game, but could be fun, and that's coming holiday of this year. Next up is a VR game, and this is Vader Immortal, and I am on board for this all the way. It's coming August 25th of this year, and this looks, well, like Star Wars in VR. I can't really explain much better than that. You know, it looks like you're going to be controlling Darth Vader. There's lightsabers and all sorts going on in here. It looks cool, and anything in VR that is to do with Star Wars, you know, most people are on board for. So really, really looking forward to this. After that was Control, not a second one. You know, it's not a new game. It's purely an expansion, which has been labelled as OR or R. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, if I'm all totally honest. It's coming out on August 27th, and this looks like more Control, really. A colourful, crazy, in-your-face, third-person shooter, but it's one of the best PS4 games of all time, I'll happily say it. So, yeah, really looking forward to that. Next up is Autochess, and look, the Autochess series, I've never really played it or taken interest, but I know a lot of people are diehard for it. This is slated to be October 2020. So this year, and it looks crazy. It looks crazy chess, is the best way to explain it. It looks really good though, overall. After that, we saw some gameplay of the Pedestrian, and this one really caught my eye. This is like a puzzle platformer, but you play as a stick person. I don't know if you can pick between a man and a woman. Who knows? It looks like you kind of play almost like The Witness, where it was very much environmental puzzles. So it looks like you can kind of traverse the world around you and behind you and everything through the environment by linking up certain tiles and doors and stuff. Looks honestly really interesting, and this is one that I can't wait to play myself, because I do love it when they come out with these new new ideas on an old idea, if that makes sense. So, you know, platforming and puzzle solving isn't something new, but to do it in such a different way is, yeah, it's intriguing. And then moving on from that is Hood Outlaws and Legends, and this is a PS5 game. It's interesting. I don't know if this is an actual Robin Hood game. You know, by the name of the game, you would think so, but it looks possibly like an online kind of brawler type melee focused thing. I don't know. It looks like there's going to be treasure to steal, stuff like that, so we will have to keep an eye out on that one. But at the moment, I'm really not sure what to think about that. After that, second to last was a game called Temtem, Temtem, and this is, I mean, this is Pokemon for PS4. Straight away, it looks like you collect monsters, but instead of a Pokeball, it's on a card. It looks interesting, but it does look a little bit like a mobile game at the same time. Graphically, wasn't the best thing, but the idea itself could, if pulled off right, be really good. And that is looking at around about 2021. And to finish the whole state of play off was something that got most people absolutely hyped. Was a better look at Godfall, and this was a sort of more in-depth look at the combat overall. So they go on to talk about how the sort of dual blades work, the longsword works. They talk about how you've got a shield, a bit more just in general about the fighting, and it looks, I'll be honest, it looks gorgeous. Like, looking at this, even though it was on a stream and the stream wasn't the best quality ever, it looked nice. I can imagine playing this on a really nice setup, and this could be one of the best looking games ever, if not the best looking. So yeah, it's a lot to look at, and the whole state play in general, how would I rate it? Yeah, it was really good. There was a couple of iffy games, but overall there's a lot of greatness here, so really looking forward to that. Anything and everything I've spoken about today will be linked in the description as well, with timestamps, so maybe just go check out the trailers for yourself instead of watching this video if that's what you want to do. Actually, I've put this at the end of the video, so in order to get to this point you would have had to have watched the video, so yeah, bit weird, but look, go check it out. Let me know in the comments what your favourite thing from State of Play was, and stay safe. I'll see you next time.